Hey everyone, what's up? Today I have a special guest in the studio. Actually, it's his studio, and I'm excited to be here with him. He's my buddy, he's my friend, but he's also a doctor. Dr. Stuart A. Martin, board certified, attending Obgyn. He is also the maternal medical director here at a local hospital. He is my guest. You guys are in store for the greatest show of all time.
Thanks for building me up so much. I appreciate that.
So stay tuned.
Hey everyone, it's Andrew Bustos of the Bustos Training Fitness Podcast. This is a podcast about life and fitness. You know what, DJ? Hit that music because it's time to start the show.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the show, man. I'm excited. If you can't tell already, I am pumped up. I'm just excited. We have Dr. Stuart. In case you guys missed the intro, we have Dr. Stuart Martin, OB-GYN of a local hospital. Man, thank you for joining me.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you for giving me all that praise. I needed it today.
Dude, I get excited. You have to realize I get excited because when I have a guest and I have someone to actually talk to, because if you're new to the show, I talk to myself.
Yeah.
But actually being able to talk to someone, it makes it exciting.
Really?
It really pumps me up.
Happy to be.
Man, I got some questions for you because my audience is mostly female. And I hear this is your specialty.
Yeah, kind of focus on that world.
Awesome, man. I got some questions for you. But here's what I want to know. I want my audience to know is who are you? What introduce yourself to my audience, please.
So a brief life story. Basically.
Yeah, tell me who you are.
Okay.
Tell me who you are.
Well, I am Stuart Martin. I work and live out of Abilene, but I was born and raised in Houston. Kind of did all my education and training throughout the United States. Did my undergrad at Rhodes, did my actual medical training at UTMB, and then went out to LA for my actual residency and came back to Texas as quick as I could following that. I focus on female health and kind of do everything that a typical OBGYN would do, both deliver babies as well as do surgery and do some specialized skill things like robotic surgery.
Yeah. Good. Okay, because I'm a guy. Yeah. All right. I have no idea what OB-GYN stands for. So can you tell me actually what that is? Can you tell me exactly what OB-GYN is?
That is an obstetrician gynecologist. Yes. So in essence, they do a lot, and basically they are the only field out there that takes the special focus of how unique female health, nutrition, physiology is, especially in relation to pregnancy and beyond that.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
It sounds good. We've had children, so I've been a part of the problem progress.
Part of the problem and the
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, that's awesome. So that's who you are.
That's who I am.
That's what you do.
In a nutshell.
Cool. So why'd you want to be a doctor, Stuart?
That's an easier question for me than some of the other ones, but I can't remember a time when I was growing up that I didn't want to be a physician. I think the tougher thing for me in my specific life was figuring out what type of physician. But in all seriousness, from even high school on, I had started to do a lot of work with Ronald McDonald House.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I grew up near the Houston Medical Center, so I always felt like that was an easy way to give back. You felt good about yourself. It just kind of was a really rewarding thing to kind of participate in, and being a doctor kind of means you are the absolute most integral part of that relationship and that healthcare environment for patients.
Because you've told me this before. We've talked about this before, that you enjoy helping people.
Absolutely. I think, with OBGYN especially, it's a labor of love, and that's almost a funny pun intended there. But we honestly all go into the field knowing it's one of the most physically, emotionally, time-wise demanding fields and disciplines you can go into in medicine. And it's not for the sake of it's just fun to deliver babies. It's the fact that it is so rewarding to be able to be at that very unique and critical part in a woman's life, whether it's having a baby or having a hysterectomy, because there is a little precancer scare or something. But obviously the babies are a lot more fun and day to day. So that makes you feel good about going to work every morning.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So you start the journey, you finish the journey, you start the journey, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty neat, man. Like I said earlier, being a part of something like that, when my wife and I had the baby, you weren't here yet, right?
Yeah.
You weren't
I
here at
was
the
not
local
here yet.
hospital yet.
Yeah.
You probably would have been the doctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
think
gonna
you
say
picked
it.
a great one.
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
going to try to name names here. But
That's
you
true.
Had a
That's
great
true.
Position.
But yeah, man. But it's a great experience, and I know you personally, and you're a nice guy. So anybody that gets you as a doctor,
Well,
high
it's a
praises.
personal thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think you really liked your OB and y'all connected well with him. And that may not be true for the next person off the street. And I really think OBGYNs and women expect a little bit more of a professional yet intimate relationship where they can be able to connect a little bit more on a personal level with their physician.
Right. No, I think that's great. Yeah, that's Dr. Martin right there, guys.
Oh, goodness.
In a nutshell, right? That's kind of a, hey, I'm in a nutshell,
Yep,
right?
Yep. Don't learn any more. From right there.
That's
all you
it.
need
Nah,
to know.
man, you're more.
Yep.
You're a lot more than that. And I really do appreciate you being on this show today.
Absolutely.
This really is really cool. I've been wanting to get you on this for a long time because my audience, like I was saying, is at least 75% women.
Great.
And you can educate them, you can help them, you can guide them,
Yeah.
and that's what we're going to do today. Okay,
Great.
so I have some questions for you.
Sure.
You mentioned a little bit earlier, like what's the age bracket of the patients that you see, like dealing with women?
That's a great question. And for really the very first time we'll see patients is a little bit variable, but usually it's sometime around early high school. So 12 to 15 years old is usually in that range. The first time a female will come to our office to establish care. And with or without parents, it depends on the scenario and the presentation. But that's a very separate visit and different and unique visit than the one on the 85-year-old that you're doing as well. And it has different health focuses and concerns and addressing different proactive issues. But really from adolescence until the end.
Till the end, man.
Yeah.
You're there with them.
Absolutely.
That's cool. How long have you been a doctor?
This is going on 3 years of being a attending physician. I graduated from residency in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
I meant to ask that earlier, but I definitely want my audience to know how long you've been doing this, and that's quite a bit of time, man. That's awesome.
I get accused all the time of being an imposter. I look too young. I promise that's why I keep the beard going.
They're like,
I
hey,
swear
can
I've
the
done it
doctor
all.
come in now? Can the doc, right? Yeah, can they come in? Because you're just too good looking to be in here, right? You're just too good looking and too young. No, that's awesome, man. Yeah. Oh, and I want to keep this fitness related as well, right?
Yeah,
we want to talk about fitness
sure.
too, because it goes hand in hand, right? Health, being healthy while having a baby or pregnant,
Yes.
or not having a baby and pregnant,
And I
right?
think healthcare professionals are as guilty as your patients of not listening to that factual based argument. Yes, absolutely.
Cool, man. Yeah. So tell me, what are some top questions that you get from your patients, all the ages? Like, what are some good questions? This is talking about fitness, my audience, right? They're coming to see you. What are some questions?
I mean, and I think honestly, when we talk about especially nutrition and diet, I want to actually let patients know that sometimes really the most qualified person is not their physician, although we put a lot of stock in physicians being these, infallible resources of every bit of information they've ever read in a book. But really, in today's day and age, I can give general guidelines and I can walk people through things. But really, if they're wanting a comprehensive analysis of what they're doing and how they're doing it wrong and how to correct that, having a nutritionist or dietitian involved early on is really integral to kind of saying, I'm taking this seriously and I want to correct some underlying behavior I know is not as healthy as I could be.
Gotcha.
Right? But at the end of the day, I am a firm believer, and I believe you are too, in calorie restriction and calorie maintenance as a way of trying to figure out how to help lose weight.
Right.
Because it all boils down to calories at the end of the day. If you're putting more in than you actually expend.
Calories in versus calories out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do think women sometimes, and I do not mean this in a gender-based thing, but women tend to be a little bit more victimized by our body image society. And so they fall subject to a lot more of the faddish diets here and there than men do.
Yeah.
And I just think the one that kind of gets pushed as a very effective diet method, but is ultimately potentially very unhealthy for certain people, is that kind of Atkins or keto diet.
Gotcha. Yeah.
People don't realize
that's a popular one right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Keto is a big topic.
Yep.
I'm sure you hear that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, and so people, I definitely know it is possible to cut 60, 70 pounds by eating bacon and
Yeah.
chicken wings and all that all day, every day. The problem is that your carotid arteries and some of your big veins will end up getting awful looking. Like they will be 50% clogged if you do that year after year.
Man, that is pretty hot right now.
Yeah.
I bet you get that a lot. Keto,
absolutely.
paleo,
Yeah.
Atkins.
Yeah.
Hey doc, I'm going on this diet.
And I'll tell you the thing about it is when patients tell me they're not noticing results with something that I would know to normally be effective, like if they really truly were not having more than a 2,000 calorie diet a day allowed, then I really want them to reflect. And so I'll take the time and sit there and talk to them about, like, let's talk about everything you ate today, everything you ate yesterday. And you'll find a lot of people, myself included, at weak times, you'll make rationalizations about why that's okay, or, oh, it's just one piece of bread a day I used to eat two. You really have to commit when you want to commit, because you know me from my 30 to 40 pound bigger size self when I first arrived in Abilene. And honestly, it took me saying, I am going to fix this before anything happened.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue too. That's my next question.
What is your next question?
That's the next thing right there, man. You kind of touched on it a little bit. You've lost weight. Tell me about, let's head right into this. Your personal fitness journey.
Yeah, well, I mean, just to give a general population a confirmation of the stigma associated with residency and how tough it is as hard as anybody ever tells you. And I think it puts very extreme stresses on young physicians' bodies to the point where most of us don't end up having the healthiest habits going through that period in our life. And it actually kind of works against us. We're working to take care of these people in the hospital constantly at the sake of our own health, at the sake of our own general well-being at times even. And so you do that for 4 years and you kind of get spit out the other end as a well-trained physician, but now you basically had all these healthy habits that have accrued over 4 years. And that's really how you fix things like diet and exercise, right? Is you make it a habit. And so I'd been habituated into eating literally a meal in 10 minutes or less. Like I could still do it to this day if I got to. It's not a skill I'm proud of, but that's terrible. Don't do that.
But you got time limits, man. You really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so again, those restrictions forced me into bad lifestyle habits. And so when I got here, I think after about a month or two of letting myself have the Southern diet as opposed to the West Coast diet, which means heavily fried everything.
Right. Yeah.
I definitely hit my record high weight of about 210, 215 pounds. And at that point, I remember delivering a patient and her seeing me about 6 to 7 months later after I'd first started here, and her not being able to hold her tongue and letting me know that I was looking a little on the heavier side.
Oh, man, she let you know about it, huh?
Yes, and I appreciated it through and through, because ultimately that was the wake-up call I needed to say, look, this needs to change. I'm not happy with the way I feel or look.
Yeah, so a lot of times, even general fitness, not just doctors, right? General people, general fitness. There's usually a wake up call. Yes. There's something that you go and see a doctor.
Right. I mean, look at me. I'm a physician. I should know better, right? That's always what I think when I see examples of physicians preaching and not practicing what they preach.
Right.
So I think physicians are very guilty, especially in the way of preventative medicine. Sometimes telling patients, "Hey, just get on a diet. Just do exercise like this." Well, I can tell you right now, 100% of doctors do not do the kind of things they're recommending to their patients.
Gotcha.
So
I'm with
I
you.
think, honestly, it's easy. Just like patients say, "Oh, I'll do a diet regimen. I'll do that." You have to commit to it like it's going to be the way you live your life going forward. And that was the only way I did lose that weight. It wasn't any way other than knowing it was going to take 6 months to a year to really see realizable differences, and doing it 100% commitment.
Yeah.
Basically viewing any cheat as that's failing the whole mission.
So you were ready to make that decision.
Absolutely.
You have to be ready. And that's something that I preach to this audience.
Yeah.
Is you have to be ready to make that decision.
But I totally agree.
Yeah, right. You have to, your mindset has to be clear. You got to go, you know what? I really want to do this.
Absolutely. I mean, that speaks into kind of medical counseling and decision making too. If you're not counseling patients completely on what they're agreeing to do for treatment, that's not a fair thing to put on them. So you have to be ready for surgery if that's what's recommended. I will never operate on someone that's on the fence about whether they're okay with doing the surgery or not. That
Gotcha.
means no. So life is about that. You have to have a flexion point where you say something has to change.
And you were ready.
I was.
That's
ready.
why you got in shape.
Yeah.
You look good, man. You really
Thank you.
do. Because I knew you.
Yeah.
I've known you a while now since you got here.
You could do like Jenny Craig photos on that thing, a slideshow.
Don't before and
like
after.
A Yeti, the fourth year
No.
residency. Yeah.
But it is, man. You're a completely different guy.
Yeah.
Your mind is a lot clearer too. I feel like
Absolutely.
you're a lot. To me, just looking at outsider looking in, you're a lot more driven.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are. You really are, and I admire that about you, man. You really are. Even with this setup, I wish you guys could see this setup, which you probably will. This setup is unreal. Can we talk about this setup for a second?
Thing,
Holy
can.
cow, man. We will. We'll drop into that here a little later.
All right.
We really will. But I just wanted to be like, man, this thing is cool. We got the bubbles behind me.
Yeah,
We have all this. This is
bubble grabbing.
yeah, man.
Sometimes they go crazy. They might just be flying by at light speed. So.
One's gonna hit me in the face.
Yeah.
I'm just messing. Cool. So, okay, so tell me about this. We're talking about being fit. You've gotten a lot fitter, even fitter, I guess you could say. That's if that's a word. How has becoming fit helped your practice? How has it helped your patients, your relationships? Let's touch on that.
Absolutely. So I want to say that a lot of us have some behavioral tendency that we believe is kind of our Achilles heel, right? Something that we kind of look to as, man, I wish I wasn't so lazy, or I wish I didn't always kind of have the attention span of a bird moving from here to here. And for me, it really is kind of, as you can see from the setup later, stimuli I cannot have enough of.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I end up self-treating a little bit of an attention. I don't have ADHD, but let's just say I could be on the spectrum if there was one.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so I found myself, especially when I was at my worst, that I had very difficult times kind of focusing for long periods of time, unless it was something critical like surgery. I couldn't read journals and stuff and sit down and stay intrigued. I really found, too, that I had to take a nap every day instead of eat lunch when I first started here, because of how unhealthy and how fatigued my body was from all the crummy nutritional food I was putting into it, and none of any kind of cardiovascular stress to improve it. Yeah. And so ultimately, it kind of helps you to focus your mind down. It gives you more energy, but you're not going to feel it tomorrow. In fact, you're going to feel worse tomorrow. That soreness from the first workout in years is awful.
It's the worst, right?
But then you love it, right? So
you get addicted to it. Exactly. Yeah, you want more of it.
I like the best workout to me now is one where I'm sore the next day, and I think you start to really, it's again, it's about life habits. It's about it being natural to you. So if you're having to focus on the fact that you're working out and thinking about how you're not going to go today, it's probably not going to be the time in your life that transformation occurs. You have to say, I am going, whether I am like absolutely not wanting to go at all costs today. You can't cancel on your trainer. You can't cancel on the gym. You've got to go.
Yeah. So you're saying it's got to fit your life. Yeah. It's got to fit your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you found something that worked.
Your lifestyle. Yeah. You know, I see you guys either at the very end of the day, in the middle of the day when I can. I even am not a morning person, and I did that torture to myself picking OBGYN too. But because I felt so committed to changing my underlying health status.
My fault. All right, man, here's what we're talking about. We're talking about lifestyle, making this a lifestyle.
Absolutely. So,
yeah.
I want to make sure, and you've talked with me about this before, and I think that's a big, big point is...
Hey, we're back, man. Sorry.
And I want to make this a huge point is that people expect, just like some patients expect a doctor to have some magic prescription pill that can fix some things and can't.
Right.
People expect that after a month of doing, going to the gym 3 times a week, eating chicken with broccoli at dinner, that's going to suddenly have them drop 10 pounds.
Uh-huh.
No. The safe kind of amount of weight you should expect to drop any given week with a sustainable but healthy and health-conscious diet is about 1 pound a week. Anything above that is actually kind of on the unsafe side.
Yeah.
So in general, just as your weight loss is going to be gradual, the changes are going to be very subtle over time. But when you come a year out from 215 pounds to being 170, that took a year of commitment, really.
Yeah.
And yet, it's great. The first 3 months was the most dramatic, but if I didn't stick with it, it wouldn't have been as profound as it was. And honestly, again, I felt like at times that there was something wrong with me, that I had to have a hypothyroidism or something. Because of why am I always needing to nap in the middle of the day and I sleep 8 hours at night if I can?
Yeah.
Why am I having such big midday fatigue issues? And really, it was because I was that unhealthy. Not an issue anymore.
Yeah, man. You got energy galore.
Dude, I think too much energy.
No, that's good, man.
Yeah.
It's great for your patients. It's great for you. And that sums up all that. It's helped everything, right?
Yeah.
Definitely helped it all.
Oh, absolutely. If we're talking about how that has changed my life, that has changed my life profoundly.
What about that lady that called you out? Have you seen her lately?
I haven't seen her in a while, but I will say I did see her again about 6 months to a year after that.
Uh-huh.
And I gave her credit where credit was due. She said, hey,
Thank you.
Yeah. I was like, you gave me the wake-up call I needed. So I'm glad you gave me that unfiltered opinion.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'd be here without you. I mean, that's why physicians depend on their patients as much as the other way around.
Yeah.
You don't make a connection with your patient, you're not really doing your
Yeah,
job right.
I totally get that. One time I actually told a lady, I couldn't believe that she was in charge of a program promoting health, right?
Yeah.
And she was drinking a full-size Coca-Cola.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and I told her, I said, I can't believe it. Yeah, and I'm not normally the person that comes up to someone and says, hey, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be promoting fitness, right? If you're going to be promoting those things, you can't be doing that and telling someone else not to do it, correct?
If you're not practicing what you preach, don't preach it. Because it's hard for anybody else to listen to that.
Yeah.
Like if y'all saw me tomorrow just laying on the couch and eating Whataburger like I used to, it's hard to believe that there's anything to be gleaned from my wisdom. Right.
And that's good, man. Those are great points. I love that, man. Let's keep going.
Right.
Here, Dr. Martin. If I'm your patient and I want to start, so I turned myself into a lady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I came and saw you.
Okay.
Right now I did. Poof.
We've done that before.
So I'm here,
We
right?
do the other way around.
There you go. And I didn't mean nothing by that. I didn't mean anything. I'm just saying.
Honestly, I know it's not a popular thing needed in this town, but that's why I've loved being in Abilene too, though, is I feel like in this setting, I am able to offer a few things that may not be traditionally available
Gotcha.
here. And,
Yeah.
I've been very happy to have some of the populations here that felt underserved, able to feel like they're.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great, man.
Listen to like VBACs, especially. I think VBACs in obstetrics is a big hot topic issue in Abilene, and people don't realize, I think, that there are some providers, myself among them, there are some providers that if you do your research.
Oh, cool.
That's still available.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Awesome. Yeah. So I'm your patient and I want to start a fitness program. Where do I begin?
My easy answer these days, what I would literally tell a patient is go to Hendrick Health Club. That's where I train.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I like that answer.
That's where you train me at, as well as other trainers. And I felt that you guys, early on, a trainer that's no longer with us here, I worked with a lot, and I got to develop a real close relationship with him, and he could see that I had a lot of desire to make some big changes in my life.
Oh, yeah.
And he went out of his way to the point that he would meal prep for me because he knew my time was kind of limited.
Yeah, that's what we touched on earlier. Yeah.
And that's kind of always what attracted me to Hendrick to start working here, as well as what I've seen over and over again is the employees we all kind of go that extra mile. And I've definitely told plenty of patients that the trainers at Hendrick tend to be much more, at least retaining their formal education of kinesiology and dietary nutrition. And so they'll sit down with you and kind of talk you through everything that you need to. I always want to send them to a nutritionist too, because I'm telling you now, nobody really thinks about what they're eating until they have to put pen to paper.
Yeah, until you got to show someone, right?
Yep. You never ate anything all day except for that empty bag of popcorn, which is evidence otherwise.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah, man. So you're saying find a professional. Find someone that's a professional
I
in
think
this.
if you're serious about it, it's foolish because some people have it within themselves to do it all on their own. But not all of us are that strong. And I think that's really the best way to put it is we're not all mentally capable of that profound change on our own, blazing our own path, right? We need someone there, just like a physician in healthcare, to be a shepherd, to kind of show you the way, to give you those tips to success.
I like that. Yeah.
So I just think doing that, yeah, I did the P90X thing. in
P90X, yeah.
You know, that actually was my best rebound back into fitness for a while before doing another failed life change. Okay, we have a guest.
Oh yeah, we got a guest.
Show.
We got a guest on the show. That
right.
I like that dog. Oh, he's all right. It's a he though, right?
It's a he.
Oh, he's fine. You know what? He's a friendly. If he started barking, it would actually increase the ratings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He wears a jacket. I feel like
dude, he's got a jacket on.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
He's always styling.
He's cute.
Where were we?
Well, we were talking about fitness. We were talking about making this part of you.
Not to try to make this a guiltless plug because I personally have never had a better gym than Hendrick Health Club, but you know, it's about
P90X
ways,
and
it's about finding ways to make sure you're once you commit to that plan, your plan is foolproof because there will be a time when you get into that change. Maybe it's a month, maybe it's 6 months, but you will doubt doing it all. You will decide you can have a guilt weekend and eat what you want.
Yeah.
You need
you still gotta
there.
you still gonna live your life, right?
Yeah, and you're still gonna have birthday cake with your dad when it's his 60th birthday, you know,
right.
Whatever things like that. You have to be able to allow for, but not when you're already in such an unhealthy state. You have to make a drastic change at first. You can't make exceptions for somebody brought cookies from their graduation party. Oh, I'll just have this one. No, you'll do that every day until you don't anymore.
Right.
I'm gonna grab him real quick.
Go ahead.
He will run away.
Get him. You better get him.
I'm going.
Yeah. So what Dr. Martin's talking about is this: if you really want to make a lifestyle change, if you really want to see a difference, guys, it's going to start with you. It's going to start with you and you and you. If you want to make a difference in your life, you want to see weight loss, you want to see in your life a change, you got to be the one that's going to want to make that change. You got to be realistic too. You have to be realistic. That's what he's saying. You got to be realistic in life. You have to. You're still going to party. You're still going to have a good time. You're still going to have a beer. We talk about this all the time. We talk about the Cheetos. I love Cheetos. Do you love Cheetos?
Beer, alcohol, cutting that completely
You
out
cut it
was
out.
Tough.
Yeah, you did.
Because I love me a beer, especially when it's Friday afternoon and work is done and I'm not on call and I don't have a baby in waiting.
Yeah.
Like that. I love that beer.
Yeah.
But
you gave that up.
I did.
You did.
I think it was over. Just to give you guys an example, I mean, I think it was over 8 months before I ever went through any restaurant with a drive-through. Like I refuse to do. If it has a drive-through, you got to know inherently it's probably unhealthy. The other thing was, I think the first time I had even a sip of alcohol was maybe 4 or 5 months after I was like, this is changing. Yeah. Because that's about the worst thing you can do other than have excess calories is have empty calories like alcohol has.
Man, yeah, we should have talked about that earlier. Talked about it sooner because you really did. Yeah, you gave up all those things. Yeah, you gave up a lot of stuff, and it completely changed. Do you think saying no? Did you have to say no to a lot of things?
I think at first you really do, because what ends up happening is by making sure people understand why you're saying no, at least in your day-to-day life, they tend to know that you're sticking to whatever big change you're trying to make, right? So especially as a physician, there is countless opportunities with pharmaceutical reps and everybody else who come by.
Oh yeah, they bring all everything.
Junk food.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like, I guess like the weird thing I would do is like when they'd bring by donuts, like I'd open the lid, look at the donuts. I'm like, oh, that looks nice, but no.
You get a whiff of it,
right?
Huh?
It's just kind of like
you
appreciate a little bit of that experience, but you don't do it because why would I do that? I mean, that's going to just totally set me back. And that's the way I viewed it, is kind of like, anything like that was a big setback on my progress to getting where I want.
Right. So you created a habit. You created these habits, right?
Absolutely.
And
if you make exceptions from the beginning, you will never have a rule.
That's really cool because it really does. We talked about accountability with a trainer, right? You talked about you hired a coach.
Yep.
You had someone say, you know what, I'm not going to make my own food.
Yeah.
I need someone to help me.
Yeah.
Right. And then now you've made this, you've continued it because it's been over a year.
Yeah. It's easy to cruise control. One of my closest friends in residency was a scion to fitness. I mean, the guy got down to about 3 or 4% body fat, and he did some things that I wouldn't have done myself, like put himself into ketosis and all these things.
Yeah.
And, ultimately, like, trying to get to where you want to go involves making sure that you are accountable to yourself. And if you know your weaknesses, like, you will convince yourself into being okay with it. You need that partner to be accountable to.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. Dr. Martin, you're awesome. I love that. I love that. And I say Dr. Martin because I want my listeners to understand that you are a doctor.
Yeah.
Pretty cool guy.
You're never allowed to call me that.
I know. I was waiting for that. Okay, man. All right. So we've talked about fitness. We talked about your profession. Let's talk about, I want to know about this side hustle you got going on.
A side hustle.
Dude, I want to know because we're in this off, and they can't really, if you're listening to this, you can't see this, but you're gonna have to watch this. They're gonna have to see this, right? The live stream. I guess I could, right? They're gonna have to look at this real quick. They're gonna have to see this setup. They're gonna have to see this.
I guess let me see if we can get everything back on.
I think they can see it. Yeah. Okay, so this has been the I told you guys it's gonna be an amazing podcast because I've had spilt water. I spilt water on this thing. I didn't mean to, and he was. I knew he wanted to choke me, and that's you did. I saw it in your eyes. But I understand. But you guys got to really see this. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this setup. You're not in this. You're not on the screen here, but you're here. Tell me about this side hustle, man. Tell me about it.
So, yeah, I mean, one of the big things that I guess I'm a testament to maybe the way video games can be a positive influence in somebody's life. Because honestly, I grew up an only child. I was born in '86. I'm not gonna be embarrassed about my age here. So I kind of, from the very day I remember growing up, maybe 5 years old, I had a Nintendo.
Yeah.
I still did all the sports, did baseball, soccer, all these things. Spent plenty of time outside, but I loved video games, and that just stayed with me throughout life, like a lot of the '80s kids and since then have had, with a certain portion of it.
Gotcha.
Those groups. And really, once I started to get into med school and being exposed to different things that were kind of cutting edge, that's when the robot first came on the scene. And I saw that basically there had been a medical device created that was going to be game-changing for surgery and patient outcomes. And it looked pretty darn similar to the way I played video games with hand-eye coordination and a screen as opposed to direct hand-on tissue.
Yeah.
I was like, this was made for me. I need to do this. And I remember the physician back then, even when I was a med student, letting me put my head into the console. And with the way that works, it's basically like you're in true 3D vision. So you actually feel like, that old Magic School Bus episode where they're in the body. Like, you feel like your head is inside that person's body.
Yeah.
And you have extensions to kind of do what you need to. And it's amazing what you can do.
Holy cow. I didn't know that either.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, okay, that's to explain how it kind of intertwined.
That's how this side hustle started.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I started to be like, in today's day and age, we got so many movements, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like there has been a counterculture really rise of proud video game men who are now in their 30s, have kids of their own, are probably going to unhealthily push video games on their kids. Hopefully not. But they still want to be able to incorporate video games into their lives.
Yeah.
Then you find out that there's these websites and places to go like Twitch where these people do this all day, every day, 24/7.
Yeah.
And some of these guys are great and they're super entertaining, but it's a little bit
So is Twitch
a little
like
bit edgy sometimes.
So Twitch is like a similar to Instagram, Facebook,
Sure,
YouTube.
like YouTube videos.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
a lot of people on those platforms are also on Twitch. But what you're doing with Twitch is you're live streaming, just like you're doing over there on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
You're live streaming whatever you're doing, and they have a lot of variety things. People just do talk shows on there. People play music.
Yeah.
But the classic thing done was play video games and look at a camera of my face and as I talk into the mic.
Yeah.
And so some of these guys are really interesting, and I was like, I would really have fun with this. Now, there's plenty of stories these days about how much money these guys make, and that's exactly why I felt like this was perfect as a fun side thing, because I couldn't care less about the money
Right.
involved.
Yeah, you
just want
enjoy it.
community.
Yeah.
And it's been crazy how I've attracted just the right people by just being on for long enough. Most of my listeners or watchers tend to be in the healthcare industry and
cool.
video gamers.
That's
and
cool,
I think
man.
really you see a disproportionate amount of video gamers in healthcare because I don't know why it lends itself to it, but there is a lot of, I think, logic thinking in some of the less just violent video games and more of the strategy stuff.
Yeah. You got to figure things out. Yeah.
And so that's why, again, people have come on that are biomedical engineers, there are nurses, there are physical therapists, pharmacists. Like, it's just weird how much they wanted to see something where medicine could be talked about while just messing around on a video game.
Yeah.
Fresh that day.
Because outsider looking in, and I train a lot of physicians.
Yeah.
And you guys are stressed, okay?
Oh,
I'm just going to say, you guys have a stressful job.
Absolutely.
And I think, just for outsider looking in, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you get to escape for a little bit.
Totally.
Yeah.
It is my escape room.
Yeah.
And that's where I felt like, too, it was my escape, but I could share that escape sometimes with people. And it allowed me to be social about something that I feel like for a long time, a lot of us felt like, myself included, like I didn't like the stigma associated with video games. But
Yeah,
now
right,
I'm
right.
loud and proud about it. Like, I'm a geek. I don't care.
But you know what? Now, with video gaming, I'm not a big video gamer. I have an Xbox, but the latest game I played was NBA Y or whatever, 2K19.
Usually if you talk about the sports games first, that's not a good
You're
time
not a
for
good
game.
gamer, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I know that.
Yeah.
But now, these kids, man, kids coming up, like you can go to universities. You can get a job. Like, this is the thing.
Yeah.
This is it.
It's very, like, it's crazy. We were talking about that when we first started up, that there's this innate tech savviness or tech literacy that kids are growing up with now. Definitely at younger and early ages, parents need to be careful with that. I just got to make that disclaimer out there because, again, little kids can actually have delayed speech pathways and basically verbal learning. So you really need to be careful about device attachment very early on, because little 1-year-olds can kind of figure out what's going on with touchscreens.
Yeah, they can. They really can, man.
It kind of separates you from what you're supposed to be doing, which is learning everything in the world like a little sponge.
Cool, man. So tell me what's your handle? Is there a handle? Is there like a do I press the button here? Can I just hit the space bar?
Yeah, there you go.
So tell me what this is.
So that is my graphic design. I'm not going to lay claim to actually having drawn that myself. I wish I could, but it kind of combined, I think, the two most striking elements of my stream, which is that I'm a doctor. So that ugly troll there is wearing a white coat and has a stethoscope.
This is cool. I remember when you showed me this. And what's the handle?
The handle is actually Dr. Meta Troll. And so that's a very video gamer. Video gamers love this name. It attracts them because it kind of speaks a different language to them. To a lot of others, it's kind of like, what are you talking about? But just to give people a little bit of an idea, I think everybody these days knows what a troll is, because unfortunately we're all victims to it. But the meta is something where it's kind of like the best way of doing something, or the most successful strategy or character or whatever in a game at that time. So I felt like saying I was the meta troll, nobody could get above me.
Ooh, I'm going to take that name and make it the meta training. Can I take that?
Meta training. I like that.
That's cool, man. So that says, come get a
Come get the voodoo.
The voodoo. Okay, I see the done now.
I gotta
see
be in
it.
character. That's why that's the.
So do you have a voice? Is there like a? No, it's just your voice.
I wish I could be as outlandish as you, but
there's
I
nothing.
cannot.
So what I usually do on the podcast is I usually do like since I can't, there's nobody here to talk to, I usually go, oh, Mr. Andrew, what if we do this, Mr. Andrew? What if I actually go this route? Hey, Mr. Andrew.
Like I'm like based loosely on Mr. Bill.
Yeah. So I try to, oh no, hey there, guy. Oh my gosh, yeah. So because I get a lot of interesting questions. I won't say dumb. Interesting questions, right? And so I kind of play. Right? I kind of play that. Hey, Mr. Andrew, what's going on there? Hey, guy, I was wondering.
You do that to your viewers?
I do. I tell them.
Oh my God.
And that's kind of like I don't understand it,
like that, guys.
but it's funny. It's funny because they actually get the responses on these things. They're like, man, people will walk up to me, hey, but Mr. Andrew,
really?
Hey, yeah, man, it's weird. It is weird.
You're a walking, talking celebrity.
Nah. You are, dude. We just gonna take. So where can people find you? Can they find you on Instagram? Can they find you? Where can they find you?
They can find me struggling to figure out Instagram. I have one set up, but that is still in the works. The video gamer thing I have is Discord. Nobody else is gonna know what the heck that is, but definitely Twitch. It's on my Facebook too, my actual private Facebook. So if you're a friend or a friend of a friend, you can find the link actually on my Facebook page. But Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Twitch. Everything. I stream at least a few times a week.
Cool.
It's always with the caveat, even with my guilds, which sounds so nerdy to say out loud, they understand I'm a doctor. And so like there's times when I'm midstream and I'm like, sorry guys, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So it's good that there's a lot of understanding.
I have to go deliver a baby.
Right.
I gotta get out of here.
I can't kill this boss. I gotta go.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. Stuart, I really appreciate you.
Absolutely,
I appreciate you doing this podcast.
You.
And again, I'm sorry about the water. The water behind me, man. I didn't mean it's
no
still
foul.
working, right?
Right.
Everything's good.
Everything's good.
No, I really do appreciate your time. Your time is valuable. And I admire you, man. I look up to you. You're my friend, but you're also a role model in this industry too. So I want to tell you thank you for doing this.
You even saying that is either humbling or you're just.
No, this isn't part of it. I don't even care. I would tell you this even if we weren't doing this. So I really do mean that a lot.
That's very
you're also my friend. You're a good friend of mine, and I appreciate you doing that, man. I really do appreciate you being here with us. And you're gonna be back. We're gonna get you back on here for sure. You'd want to come back, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. And make sure there's no water behind me next time. So I don't make that. No, you didn't. I did it. I did it. But I appreciate you, man. Guys, thank you so much for listening today to this podcast. I hope this has helped you somehow to get started. If you're new to fitness, if you're new to it, remember you can check out Bustos Training, BUSTOS Training. Don't forget, head on over to the Apple Podcast app, head on over to Spotify, leave me a review, scroll all the way down. You can always find me on Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok. Everywhere, Facebook.
Good God.
I know.
Take notes from this guy.
It's just everywhere, man. I just been at it a little bit longer on this end. You have to go deliver some babies today, don't you?
Oh, I'm off, man.
Oh, okay. Never mind. You're good.
I'm on vacation.
Yeah,
right now.
Dr. Metatrol is on vacation.
Yes.
Cool, man. Thank you, Stuart, guys.
Absolutely.
And you know what I always want to leave you with? You know what I want to leave you with is that sick beat.